Fangames. There have been many that have gained a reputation within the gaming community. Pokemon Emerald, Flow, Lisa the Pointless, Amori Reverie, the Earthbound Halloween Hack. What I find incredible about these fan projects is that even if they may differ in quality, they all make an attempt to take a story, a world that's already been finished and completed, and twist and remix it into something new. They take the world you are already familiar with and make you look at it from a different angle, a different perspective. This brings me to the reason I've made this video. Undertale Yellow. Undertale has no small quantity of well-made fan games. Just recently, a fan project known as Under Event 2022 premiered here on YouTube. If you find this video interesting, I also highly recommend checking out Under Event 2022, as it showcases multiple Undertale and Deltarune fan games, sprite comics, and even animated series. Links will be in the description. What's amazing about this, however, is Under Event is just the tip of the glacier that is Undertale fan games. Undertale Red, a fight against an orphan who was adopted into the Royal Guard. TS Underswap, a fan game that tells the same story as Undertale, except all the characters' roles have been swapped with their counterparts. For example, now Asgore is the one guarding the ruins and looking out for fallen humans, while Toriel is the one ruling the rest of the underground. No More Deals, a fight against my favorite character, Kara. I actually made a video about Kara that I highly recommend checking out, by the way. Rejuvenation, an extremely challenging fan game where Sans and Papyrus team up against you at the end of the Genocide run. PS Outertale, Undertale, but it's in fudging space. Undertale Bits and Pieces, a mod that updates Undertale's graphics as well as its music and adds a multitude of new content to the game. And a full multiplayer Undertale fan game that allows you to interact with other people in Undertale's world called Don't Forget Connected. Those are just a few of my favorites that I've seen over the years, and a decent amount of them are still being worked on, with the biggest ones typically only having a playable demo that ends once you leave the ruins. But I realize saying that makes me sound like a spoiled brat, because even considering that, this is an insane amount of content that you can access for free. So considering this ludicrous amount of fanworks, you're probably wondering, why Undertale Yellow? I imagine when most people look at this fan game, the first thing they think is, so we play as another kid, but this time he's a cowboy for some reason, and then Flowey shows up, but instead of immediately trying to tear us to shreds, he's being helpful and nice? Yeah, this seems like a bunch of ridiculous and weird fanon. When I first played the demo for this game, however, I thought to myself, wow, someone cares about Undertale's lore. Undertale is one of my favorite games, the only other game being able to surpass it in my opinion being Amori. I've spent a lot of time going through and analyzing Undertale's world, which is why I was so ecstatic to see someone attempting to make a lore-accurate prequel. I've seen so many super fans of other series, mainly Nitro Rad to be honest, talking about these amazing fan projects made for their favorite games that manage to keep the original feel of those games while telling a brand new story in that world. For me, Undertale Yellow is finally going to be what gives me that experience, and since it seems the game will be ready to release in 2023, I'm making this video to spread the word about how amazing I think this is going to be. So sit down, get comfy, and let me explain to you why Indiana Jones' son partnering with what is essentially this world's Satan is actually a plausibly lore-accurate story. Before the story of Undertale, 6 humans fell into the underground, and their souls were captured by the Kingdom of Monsters. Each human had a different soul trait, represented by a different color. If you think that's all we get to know about these humans, however, then you have gravely underestimated the obsessively analytical nature of the Undertale community. During the fight against Omega Flowey, there are small sections where one of the souls will appear on the TV screen. You then have to get through a specialized attack. Something you may not have noticed is each of these attacks correspond to one of the weapons you can find throughout the game. Cyan attacks you with the toy knife, Orange attacks you with the tough glove, Blue attacks you with the ballet shoes, Purple attacks you with the torn notebook, Green attacks with the burnt pan, and Yellow attacks with the empty gun. Well, it's not really empty during the actual attack, but I think you can see where this is going. Each of these weapons originally belonged to the previous fallen humans, and each is also paired with a piece of armor. Cyan wore the faded ribbon, Orange wore the manly bandana, Blue wore the faded tutu, Purple wore the cloudy glasses, Green wore the stained apron, and Yellow donned the cowboy hat. And that is all we've uncovered about the Wait, what about the snowball game? The snowball game? Yeah, the snowball game. It's super important to the lore. Why would the snowball game be important? What the The snowball game will show you a colored flag whenever you complete it. Each colored flag corresponds to the colors of the souls. Once you get the red flag, it reveals what each of the soul traits are. Patience, bravery, integrity, perseverance, kindness, and justice. And as far as I know, that is actually everything we know about the previous fallen humans. Excluding Kara, of course. That's a whole nother can of worms. So yeah, justice. We know they had a yellow soul, they wore a cowboy hat, and they had a freaking gun. So Undertale Yellow tells the story of a boy named Clover, who has a yellow soul, a cowboy hat, and a gun. Unlike our protagonists in Undertale, however, he doesn't accidentally trip over a vine and fall face first into the underground. Clover heard that 5 humans had gone missing after going towards this mountain, so with confidence, he heroically leaps down into the underground, determined to find and save the missing humans, since his soul trait is justice. Checks out. You know, I just need to take a moment to congratulate this community. No one could have imagined that we'd be able to uncover any deeper meaning out of the snowball game, but our obsessive personalities proved them wrong. Now that we've gotten this far, we can divert our focus to figuring out the dark truth behind the Thunder Snail race, and its hidden connections to Dr. W.D. Gaster. So yeah, that's pretty much everything about Justice. Wait, no, I just thought of something else. Caddy and Bratty, who sell you Justice's equipment, actually say they found a gun in a dumpster, implying that Justice may have died near the garbage dump in Waterfall. It's also perfectly possible, however, that after Justice's soul was taken, his weapon was simply disposed of, meaning in Undertale Yellow, Clover could really die anywhere and it would still be plausible within the lore. But then, there's Flowey. Flowey is a very complex character, so I could spend a lot of time going over his backstory. The focus of this video is on Undertale Yellow, however, so I'm just going to summarize why Flowey teaming up with Justice can actually be plausible within the lore. Flowey was created when Alphys unintentionally combined the deceased Azrael's dust with a flower using liquid determination. We don't know how many souls were taken before Justice entered the underground, so it's possible that Alphys could have used the determination from the souls that came before Justice. Once Flowey had been created, he discovered that he could use his newfound determination to control time itself. Flowey actually tells us during the genocide run that he didn't immediately use his power for selfish reasons. He actually tried to use his powers for good. It was only after he had gotten bored with the repeated timelines and frustrated with his inability to feel love that he wondered what would happen if he killed people. This is when Flowey began turning into the Flowey we see in Undertale. So since Undertale Yellow takes place before Undertale, it's possible that Flowey would still be trying to be nice and a positive influence on the world. On the other hand, there's another possibility related to Flowey. It's possible that Flowey has already reached a darker stage of his character arc. He could have ulterior motives, or for all we know, he could just view Clover as a form of entertainment. A human falling into the underground is quite a rare occurrence, and that would potentially make Clover the first new thing Flowey has seen in years. Why immediately kill this new character when he could get to know Clover, and see if this human could be of any use to his own plans? But we won't really know until the full game is out. So there you have it. What at first might seem like a very strange and random fangame to the average person actually seems to be the work of people with a deep understanding of Undertale's world and story. So, Undertale gives us the setup for this prequel, but where do we go from here? That's right. New parts of old areas we've never seen before, new characters that inhabit them, as well as completely original brand new areas that we know next to nothing about. What kind of perilous journey could one of the previous fallen humans have gone on? How could Clover's journey have affected the underground as a whole? These are questions I'm really curious to see how the UTY team chooses to tackle. Undertale Yellow is currently scheduled to release within the first quarter of 2023. As I am clearly very excited for this game, I plan on doing my own playthrough of it as soon as it releases. It's just so weird for me to think about how I've been waiting for this since before Deltarune Chapter 1 even released. For me, this was Deltarune before Deltarune even existed. Red is going to be in the game